We have been talking about how, as counselors, we need to have skills, awareness, and knowledge to help our students make wise decisions. And now let's talk about life skills. Because so far, the skills that we were talking about were very based on information, were technical, because we learned about theories and how those theories were applicable, how we could apply them. And now I'm going to talk about life skills. We have spoken about life skills earlier as well, and we will repeat that in a different framework because life skills per se are very, very important and an integral part of career guidance. It has to be integrated into the career guidance program. What are life skills? Life skills are a set of attitudes, abilities, socioeconomic competencies which help an individual learn and make wise decisions and helps them lead a healthy and productive life which makes them agents of change. And isn't that what we want for ourselves and for our future generation? Life skills have no time to start and end. In fact, even right now, if I ask you, you will say that you are still a student of life skills. Let's try that. Are you still not learning how to problem solve? Are you still not learning creative thinking, applying creative thinking, and understanding how somebody else is doing it and imbibing that into yourself? Respect and empathy, it's a constant endeavor. We can't stop doing this thing. These are skills that it's not as if now I've learned it, now I've switched off from being aware of it. We are continuously encouraging ourselves to be aware of these skills in ourselves, and we are continuously enhancing these skills in ourselves. And now that you're becoming counselors, we will go through an entire process of you enhancing these skills in yourselves all over again. And that is why talking about these skills, how to practice them, how to inculcate them in ourselves is super important for our younger generation at every stage of their lives. When you look at the skills that a human being has, the skills can fall under three broad categories. These are foundational skills, job-specific, and transferable. Foundational skills are skills like literacy, reading and writing, numeracy, making normal, simple mathematical calculations. And in nowadays, digital skills also come as foundational skills. It was not so a few years ago, but now it is. Then we have job-specific skills, the skills that we get education for, which are relevant only in a particular job space. For example, accounting, coding, engineering, architecture. And these can become outdated because of new advances in technology. Some of these skills can become outdated. And finally, there are the transferable skills. These are skills that we carry with ourselves no matter where we go, no matter what role we play, whether in personal life or in professional life. Skills like communication, creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, empathy, respect for diversity. In fact, we've just spoken about respect for diversity in such great detail in this module. So these are the transferable skills because we carry them with us wherever we go. And life skills is that category of skills that is necessary for us to acquire all the other skills, foundational, job-specific, and the transferable. And that is why we say that there is no ending to enhancing life skills. There is no stage too early to start talking about life skills and no stage too late to now stop talking about life skills. So that is why life skills forms an integral part. And we will now talk about how it forms an integral part. There are 4 pillars of life skills. And these are learning to be, empowerment, learning to know, learning to do, employability, and learning to live, citizenship. So learning to be has the life skills of communication, self-awareness, and resilience. Learning to know banks on the skills of problem solving, creativity, and critical thinking. Learning to do is based on negotiation and decision making. And finally, learning to live talks about participation and empathy. All of these put together, the 10 of these life skills put together, are what is integrated into the life skills curriculum. Let's talk about these one by one with the focus on how life skills make the transition from school to work, from education to occupation easy, and how it is important to have these life skills, to have them integrated into our school curriculum so that this transition is smooth and it is a part of our lifelong learning. Now it is time to talk about our life skills with a slight focus on how life skills are important when we are making a transition from education to occupation, from college or school to a workplace. So let's take them one by one. Let's start with self-awareness. Isn't that the starting point for everything? So, self-awareness is being acutely aware of your aptitude, your interest, your values. And these are important for us to keep in mind as we are searching for the workspaces that we might be interested in. If we don't know about this about ourselves, how will we ever be able to match up? And the individual in front of you can definitely not rely on you to tell them how they are. So this is something that we need to do within ourselves. Everyone needs to. And that is the start point. It helps a counselor also to give viable options to the other person. Now, when I know where I am, it is also easy for me to set goals. Based on what I like, based on what the individual likes, is interested in, they will set realistic goals, which are in sync with their capabilities as well. And then once we have solid goals in front of us, it's easier for us to follow through. The next life skill is communication. And that is the ability to convert your thoughts, your ideas into words and to speak them out in such a way as they can be understood by the other person. Is there any place where we don't need communication? Even while communicating with self, we need to convert our thoughts into words. So communication is the bottom line of actually existing, I feel. Don't you agree? So communication is very important even when we are searching and transitioning, because how will firstly the counselor know if the individual is not able to communicate what they want? And for you to communicate your options, we need this skill. And this skill needs to be used in such a way that the communication is amicable. That is the ultimate aim of communication, that what you have said is understood by the other person in the right way. Otherwise, there can be a lot of misunderstandings. Resilience. The ability to get up from failures and to try again. The ability to face unexpected events in our lives, unexpected failures in our lives, and come back again to try once more. And that, in fact, was the bottom line of the happenstance theory by Crumballs that we studied. And if you look at it, to be creative during uncertainty is resilience. And that was the aim of the happenstance theory, that things do happen in life which we didn't plan, which we didn't anticipate, and still we can bounce back. Empathy is the ability to view the situation from the other's perspective, to be in their shoes, to see how they might be feeling, which is very, very important for us when we are in a workplace. To understand how the other is feeling, it helps us to deal with them more effectively and makes the entire environment more conducive to work, more conducive to creativity. So empathy as a life skill is superbly important. Participation. Participation is involving yourself in new learnings. When you participate actively in what's going around you, you understand that there might be places where you want to bring in new skills for yourself and what you might want to add on to. yourself and to the workplace. So that is possible only if you have stepped outside your comfort zone and participated wholeheartedly. So that is why participation becomes an important life skill. When we talk about critical thinking, the skill of critical thinking is the ability to evaluate yourself, evaluate the situation in an objective manner. When we say objective, it means that to be realistic about it. To understand that somebody else also has a point of view which might be equally correct. So the critical thinking is a valuable skill, especially in the workplace, where we approach a problem in a way where we have an opinion, we have a way of solving it, and then we are also objective about the fact that others might have an equally sensible way of solving it, and how can we bring both of them together to bring about the best solution. When we talk about creativity, now creativity is to look at a situation, at a issue from many angles, and also from a way which is different from what you've been seeing it normally. In fact, that is what creativity is all about. To bring a different spin to a certain situation, product, or an idea is when you are being creative. And being creative will lead to better problem solving. Now, problem solving is a simple, easy, smooth resolution of situations which could otherwise cause conflicts. So all of these three things, critical thinking, where you're realistic about the opinion that you have, creativity, where you are thinking about the situation from multiple perspectives, as well as thinking about it from out of the box perspective, will lead to better problem solving. They are all kind of linked. Finally, we talk about negotiation. Now, negotiation is, of course, converting your thoughts into your words again. How is it different from communication? Communication is simply an expression of an idea, a thought, a feeling. Negotiation is the expression in such a way that when you have a thought, idea, or feeling, and I have a thought, idea, and feeling, we both can talk about it in such a way that the result is a win-win situation. This is a very important skill to have when we are talking about and negotiating about, say, salary or work terms or working hours. It is very important even for normal day-to-day conversations, where we might be talking about something as simple as what do we eat right now or where do we go. So to be able to negotiate, put your point across, hear the other person's point, and then take a consensus, come to a decision which is win-win for both, that is the basis of good negotiation. And finally, the last but not the least of the life skills is the skill of decision making. Now, it is no use problem solving or critically analyzing something or creatively thinking about something till the time we don't come to a decision of doing it, of converting that thought, that solution into action. So decision making takes into account all of these other things that have gone in before and leads to the action. Because unless we haven't taken a decision, an action is not taken. So hence, goal setting also is basically making a decision of moving forward in a certain path and finally taking action to it. All of these skills together help us in our transition from school to work, education to occupation, because all of them contribute for us knowing ourselves better, us understanding how we deal with ourselves and with the other people in a workspace, for making sensible choices which stay with us and we can stay with these choices for a long time, to be able to understand what little tweaks do I want to make in my choice moving forward. And of course, having a communication style which will make living in a workspace, working in a workspace smooth. So that is how life skills are an important part of the transition from education to occupation. Developmental psychology says that competence development is a lifelong process, starting from early age, where few skills come up and children start to practice them, become slightly more competent in them. We add more skills when we are adolescents, and it continues even in the later adulthood age. In fact, our ability to think and reflect and then act accordingly grows with experience and with maturity. Even you would realize that when you look at yourself and how you were, how you thought, how you acted on your thoughts, say about 5 to 7 years hence ago, as to what you are now, you do see a change. And you do realize that, oh, I think I have matured over the years. And that is what maturity is, to think and reflect and then act. And this continues, and that is what they say, that life skills also have work on a continuum across life. Competence regarding learning, self-awareness, and interpersonal skills are something that starts off early in life, the early stages. However, the emphasis that they have in the early stages remains and becomes equally important and crucial as an individual enters adolescence, which is what we call the stage of identity formation. It is here that they start to consolidate their ideas, opinions, and attitudes about concepts like socialization, gender equality, and human rights. So the skills that started off early in life continue over here as well. They add on more skills, but they don't leave away the skills that they started off earlier. Then the skills of communication and participation become more important in the ages of 16 to 14 years of age, and they continue to be of importance for the rest of our lives. The skills and competence of resilience and employability. Employability, if you remember, was decision making and negotiation. So resilience, decision making, and negotiation gain importance from the year 14 to year 19. However, they stay with you, they stay with the individual forever in life. Talking about this now, if you look at your life and you look at the chart that we showed you about all the 10 life skills, whether it is self-awareness, communication, resilience, critical thinking, participation, empathy, problem solving, creativity, negotiation, or decision making. Out of all these 10 skills, is there any skill that you think right now you're not using? That you think right now is not being enhanced with you, within you, with every passing day, with every interaction that you have, with every experience that you have? Life skills is actually a lifelong thing. Life skills as a curriculum in school for youngsters, for our young generation, it needs to be integrated into the curriculum. It cannot be taught, it should not be taught as something in isolation or something maybe in parallel. It needs to come into working as we are talking to them and giving them skills about the foundation skills of numeracy and literacy, along with information and skills and education about science and arts. And that is where teachers who are now working hard towards becoming counselors, the career counselors, they would play an important role in integrating our life skill curriculum into the education system. When we look at this diagram, it shows us the need to place special emphasis on a certain skill at a specific age bracket, which means that that particular age bracket is best suited to introduce that particular skill. However, we cannot forget that life skills and these skills can and in fact need to be honed and developed throughout the life in a progressive manner and across different contexts. When I say across different contexts, what does that mean? So far, we have been talking about life skills and school and education and transition from education to occupation and how these are very important for all these aspects. Different contexts mean that a skill, say like communication, It is very important to be master of our communication, not only in our workspace, but to be skillful about this even in our personal space. Problem solving or critical thinking, for example, where I can look at different perspectives of a thing, where I can aim to reach a solution of a problem in a win-win manner, should not be my targeted aim only in my professional space. It has to be the target and the aim also in the personal space. That is why they say that life skills need to progress across life, across different contexts. According to the National Curriculum Framework, it is possible to identify periods where certain skills can be emphasized. And this emphasis will lend support to the learning achievement and empowerment, and that, of course, helps us throughout our educational process. According to brain science, certain skills such as, say, participation and communication, though introduced early in life, they are better consolidated in later years. Some skills like, say, social and self-empowerment, they remain malleable throughout the early childhood, early adolescence, later adolescence, and much, much later. They are malleable, meaning that they are easy to change, they're adaptable. And we are adaptable as far as our social conditions are concerned and our self-images are concerned. So this is to say that all these skills, though introduced according to this diagram at specific periods of time, which is an ideal condition, they do not end at any specific period. They continue to grow and continue to enhance. And that is why individuals continue to grow and continue to enhance throughout their lives. As long as we are aware of the need and the privilege to change according to times. So here's hoping that all our teacher counselors aspiring to be career counselors realize this need, understand all these life skills that they have within themselves, and you continue to enhance them with you, and you continue to inculcate them through example and explanation into the future generations. All the best for that.